Good evening, everybody. We are covering some Saturday night baseball, not the New York Mets tonight. It's just going to be two of the rivals of the New York Mets. We've got a good game on deck here. It is the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Atlanta Braves. This game was supposed to start like 3 hours ago, but it was delayed because of rain. And so that works out really well for me because I just got done with doing some food delivery here tonight. And so I'm super excited to be here with you. And so here we go. So we're just going to cover the game. Otani got a hit in the top of the first for the Dodgers, but after that, Spencer Schwellenbach, I believe that's his name. Yeah, Spencer Schwellenbach was able to get out of the inning. Excuse me. So we're just going to talk about this game. We can talk anything, everything baseball, do scoreboard updates. There's one other game going on right now. Kansas City Royals lead the Baltimore Orioles 4-0. That's the top of the nine. This is MetropoliFins. We are YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. And my name is Craig. So coming to you, we'll also do any other updates that you guys want to do on anything baseball. We can talk baseball. We can throw some baseball trivia stuff out as well as we go through. We're on commercial break right now as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Pitching for the Dodgers tonight is rookie Roki Sasaki. So I have not gotten to watch him since the series in Japan. So I'm kind of excited to actually get to watch him pitch. And so excited to be here with you. I hope everybody is doing well. There is no Mets game today. The Mets game got rained out. It's rescheduled as a doubleheader tomorrow. I'll probably not be able to cover that due to some prior Sunday commitments that I had. But I have some free time tonight, and I just figured, you know what, since it's just the start of the game, we'll hop on and we'll talk all things baseball here tonight. Roki Sasaki is 0-1 on the season in 6 starts with a 3.55 ERA. And so it seems like with an ERA like that, he should probably have a slightly better record on average. I guess this last game, the Dodgers blew the lead in the 9th, which cost him a win. I would not be concerned, at least based off of initial things. If you're a Dodgers fan, I would not be concerned about Roki Sasaki. First pitch was a strike. Second pitch is a ball. Alex Verdugo is leading off for the Braves here tonight. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe for all things baseball and football. So we are MetropoliFins. We're YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel, on our way to 500 subscribers. So if you wouldn't mind and you want to support a small channel, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll be talking all things baseball here tonight. Casey, how's it going? Hope you are doing well. So we'll cover some of the baseball highlights of the day and everything else that's going on. Verdugo is retired. There's a little bouncer to the third base line, and Max Muncy, the Dodger, for Austin Riley, and he's going to reach first here with a 1-out single for the Atlanta Braves. I don't really know which team I'm rooting for. I'm not really rooting for either team in this, so we're just covering it as neutrally as a fan who doesn't like either of these teams can neutrally cover the team. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us. There is 1-on, 1-out, bottom of the first inning. Marcell Ozuna coming up for the Braves. I remember back in the day, I would just love being able to just watch anytime there's a baseball game on. Of course, growing up, a lot of times it was either the Cubs or the Braves that were on the TV because of WGN and TBS. So even though I was a Mets fan, I was also a baseball fan. So it was like Mets first, but if there was no Mets on, I would watch pretty much any baseball game as a kid. And I'm sure there's a chunk of Braves and Cubs fans around the country that simply grew up watching them because they were the teams that they could watch. And so kudos to both of them. Bruce, how's it going? It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ozuna. That's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No Mets game today. Mets were rained out. It's going to be a doubleheader tomorrow, but I just figured, hey, let's just hang out, talk some baseball. I don't even know if I'm going to make it through the whole game. It's just kind of a relaxing, low intensity baseball stream. There's a called third strike on Ozuna. He did not like that call. It's kind of a delayed call from the umpire. It was top of the zone, but it looked like a strike. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it so much. Trying to just have a little bit of fun and change it up. I don't usually have time to do a game. Yeah, so this game was supposed to start like, I mean, it's in Atlanta. So if it was in Los Angeles, obviously this would be kind of a normal start time. But there was like a 3-hour rain delay or something. So this game is just underway. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike to Matt Olson. I guess they said Matt Olson is the current Iron Man of baseball at like 600 some games. I don't think Cal Ripken's record is in jeopardy anytime soon. It's raining there. Yeah, so Mets were in St. Louis. They got rained out. And I guess it was so bad they just decided not even to try. And I guess there could be rain tomorrow. So even the doubleheader tomorrow for the Mets is in jeopardy. We are in a drought in Southwest Florida. Like we're under like fire warnings and stuff. Dr. D, how's it going? This is fouled out of play for Matt Olson. Braves have a runner on first here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Shohei Ohtani had a single for the Dodgers in the top of the first. They weren't able to score. Nothing, bottom one. So I'm doing well. I just got in from doing my food delivery for Saturday evening. It was kind of slow, but I found a couple of big orders, so it all worked out. I had one delivery had like a $30 tip on it, so that pretty much made the night. It's like $10 in the app plus a $20 cash tip, so it's like, all right, we'll take it. And I'm brainstorming some ideas. The runner's running here on the 3-2 pitch, and it is ball 4. So Matt Olson has a 20 straight game streak of reaching base. So one of the things I like about watching other teams is you just get to learn kind of stuff that nobody else is talking about other than those teams. So super fun. Winds have started in New Mexico. Yeah. So especially down here, people think of the Everglades as being this swamp, but when it's dry, relatively speaking, like we've been here, fire can spread through the Everglades, and also kind of as you get out of the Everglades, there's still lots of forest where it's not really in a swamp, but also not like where there's still lots of vegetation. So is Edwin Diaz will pitch tomorrow. There is 0% chance in my head that Edwin Diaz does not pitch. There's a doubleheader tomorrow for the Mets. By the way, for you Mets fans, Daniel Nunez did get the call up today as well. So we were expecting it was going to happen after the Sunday game, but with the doubleheader, teams are allowed to add an extra player to their roster. So because of that, then Nunez gets to join them as the extra player. And then after that, the Mets will make a corresponding move after the doubleheader is up. Runners on first and second for the Braves here in the bottom of the first inning in this late starting 3-hour rain delay game. So runners on first and second for the Braves. Sean Murphy is at the plate. And that he is struck out. Look in there. So Roki Sasaki gives up a hit and a walk, but gets out of the inning. It's 0-0. Headed to the top of the second. As a Mets fan, I have no opinion. You guys let me know who are you rooting for or against in this game. Different things like that. So, but yeah, I just figured since I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow, maybe some people who are just kind of bored here on a Saturday night. We'll talk sports. I guess I thought there was only one other game in progress, but I think that one's over. But there is one other game going on too, which is Detroit Tigers at the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels are up 1-0. Can they both lose the game? Yeah, that would be the ideal situation, right? I mean, I think ultimately, if you pin me down, I would say I'm probably rooting for the Dodgers to beat the Braves because ultimately the Mets are going to have to beat the Dodgers in the playoffs anyway. But one is not going to keep the other out. But the Braves could keep us from winning a division. So I think ultimately I'd have to cheer for the Dodgers over the Braves, but since I'm not being forced to cheer for either team, I'm not going to be doing that. But if there's any slight bias in me, it's probably a slight bias to the Dodgers until we get to the playoffs. So we're commercial break. We're heading to the top of the second inning right now. Appreciate everybody hanging out. We're on our way to 500 subscribers with our next checkpoint being the 250 mark. I'm not streaming on vertical tonight because I just didn't feel like dealing with the trolls that brings. I figured just kind of do that. However, if you are watching tonight, you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe. We're 2 away from 250. We will have our next power rankings. They will come out tomorrow night. Be probably pretty late tomorrow night, like after 10 p.m., I think. But we will plan on having those out. Last week they didn't get out till Monday, but I'm going to try to get those out on Sunday night. I'll start probably doing some research here, and I would love to know from you guys, like, what are some teams that are maybe doing better than what are being than what's being hyped, I guess, overall. Yeah, Bruce, that's a fair point too, just to keep the Mets near the top record in baseball. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how quick the Dodgers can jump up. So I'm going to tell you a couple of teams that I have on the radar here, just for for the power rankings for this week. And teams not necessarily. I haven't slotted everybody here. The 1-1 pitch by Will Smith is hit out to right field. It's off the top of the bricks, so it's going to be a leadoff double for Will Smith. He's going Big Willie style, I guess, if you guys remember that song. So I had the Detroit Tigers as the number 1 team last week, and I don't think I'm going to necessarily change that. I mean, we'll see what tomorrow goes because I watch, but in the last 10 games, the Tigers have been 7-3, which is a great record. That is better than the Mets over the last 10 games. The Mets are just 6-4. I'm just trying to see any other teams that are better than that. Actually, the Kansas City Royals and the Seattle Mariners are both 8-2 over their last 10 games. And I've had the Mariners ranked high over the last couple of weeks, when everybody else had them like power ranked, because if you could see that. But I also like this Royals team. I mean, I don't know for sure, Red Man. I don't think they'll have. I don't think they'll post the lineups early. They may, they're probably going to mix and match depending on what works the best. It's still Tyler McGill and oh, now I'm brain farting. Wade Tidwell. Those are still the starting pitchers. Cubs, yeah. So I have the Cubs near the top. I find it hard, despite the record being close. I find it hard to jump the Dodgers over the Cubs yet, because the Cubs just dominated the Dodgers. They're both 7-3 over the last 10. So I dropped the Dodgers all the way down to 5th last week. Maybe a little bit of spite there, but I I might have the Athletics ranked. I might rank them this week. Not as a long-term thing, but as a this might be the only chance all season I could get the Athletics into the top 10. So I've already given them a shout out as an honorable mention, but the Athletics are 7-3 over their last 10 games. They lost today on a walk-off grand slam, which is like a heartbreaker. But yeah. So Dodgers have runners on first and second here, by the way. Excuse me. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Will Smith had the double, and then Max Muncy was hit by a pitch, by the way. I think I missed that. Yeah. Pages fouls that one off. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we're just watching some baseball here tonight and just talking everything else. Jose Ramirez. I wonder if they so for Alvarez tomorrow, I don't know if the Mets maybe would hold him out in game. What do the Mets play on Monday? What's the Mets Monday schedule? Because that's kind of a question too. Mets play 9:40 on Monday night out in Arizona. Pages flies out to right center field. Will Smith tags. The Dodgers are going to have runners on first and third with 1 out. Yeah, so I know most pundits didn't really like the Dolphins draft. I did. I'm gonna start. I'm probably gonna start a weekly Dolphins video on the channel. I'm really trying to get this channel organized as it goes. Like, how's it going? Appreciate you being here tonight. But overall, I like what they did. I like. Here's the thing: everybody's like, you got to build the line, you got to build the offensive line, you got to do the defense. And then when they do it, everyone's like, well, that's a boring draft. Well, like, what do you want? Dolphins lines have been horrible for years. They spent draft picks on getting players that'll fill the lines. So yeah, no, I'm fine with what the Dolphins did. Ultimately we're gonna see how they perform on the field. But yep, I did. I got Quinn Ewers. So I felt like the draft, whether or not the players are going to be good enough for the Dolphins, that remains to be seen on the field. I haven't researched them, but based on the positions they drafted and based on the notes that came out as to other teams who were looking at the same guys as the Dolphins, pretty good. Here's a grounder to short, flip to second to Albies, but they're not going to get the force play. The Dodgers are going to score the first run of the game. So it is going to be 1-0 Dodgers. Oh, well, it says Cubs, not Braves. Like I said, I don't think I've done a stream other than the Mets since that Japan series. So anyway, 1-0 Dodgers over the Braves. Problem. I mean, if they're strategically picked games, the Dolphins could miss one or two games by Tua. But I mean, the Dolphins are going to have to be pretty close to. They're going to have to win all the games that they're supposed to win, plus a couple they're not supposed to win next year. The Dolphins are either going to fail miserably or succeed unexpectedly next year. I would say they're likely to have 5 or less wins or 10 or more wins. I think the likelihood that they end up in that 6 to 9 win category is just pretty low, because I think if at all they start going downhill, they're going to trade stuff away. All right. And Taylor strikes out to end the inning. We're going to go to the bottom of the second. It is 1-0 Dodgers over the Braves. going to the bottom of the second inning here. Good questions, guys. I like it. I appreciate it. It's kind of why I want to do it. It's like when I'm doing a Mets game, I'm a little more into the game itself. So I'm like, you know what? It's fun to talk all things sports as we go. But yeah, I just think either the Dolphins are going to get on an early winning streak and really ride that and go all in, or if the Dolphins lose games early, the upper management's going to tank and just try to go for the higher draft pick next year. If I just I don't see it being a middle of the road season. I think they're either going to go all in or all out after the first 4 or 5 games. So it's either going to be a really fun season or a horribly atrocious season. That's just that's what my gut feeling is. So we'll see. All right, let me I want to go back to the standings thing here really quick. Let's see. Where is that tab? I got way too many tabs open. Way too many tabs open. Here we go. Let's put that tab there. Then we'll put this tab here. I have a couple external monitors, but they're not hooked up to this computer. I got to get the right connectors. Then I could have a lot more screen space. So, all right, I'm just going to read you all the teams in Major League Baseball that over the last 10 games are 7-3 or better. And you tell me who you like and who kind of surprises you here. So Chicago Cubs, again, their run differential is plus 66. Second best in the majors is the Mets with the run differential. So the Mets are plus 58, which I would not have guessed that. Some of that has to do with that 19-run game, of course. So it's maybe slightly skewed. But Cubs are 7-3 in their last 10. Cincinnati Reds are 7-3 in their last 10. So chance that they'll stay in. Nobody in the NL East. Mets, Phillies, Braves are all 6-4, just so you guys know. Dodgers are 7-3 in the last 10. Everybody else in the NL West is kind of fading. All right. Nobody in the AL East. In fact, even the Yankees are 5-5 over their last 10, which is crazy. The best team in the last 10 in the AL East is actually the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 6-4. All right. AL Central, Tigers are 7-3. And the Royals are 8-2, maybe one of the hottest teams in baseball. And then perhaps the hottest team in baseball right now actually is, believe it or not, the Seattle Mariners. They're 8-2 on a 6-game winning streak. And I've been all over them. They have probably the top closer in all of baseball right now. If you don't hear the Rockies, I'm a hater. And then the Athletics are 7-3 in their last 10. So if you judge, so teams that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 7 teams that are 7-3 and better in their last 10. And not all of them are teams that you would expect, that's why I like my power rankings to be a little more dynamic than other ones. What are the Rockies in their last 10? They're 2-8. Not the worst. Not the worst in the last 10, by the way. I'll get to that in just a second. I agree, Bruce. I had Kansas City going to the playoffs this year. So I agree on that. Mariners are surprised, Reds are surprised, but I think I had the Reds going to the playoffs too. I've always kind of had a soft spot for the Mariners. I don't know if it's just that tie to Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day. All right, teams that are 3-7 or worse over the last 10, though, because there's going to be some teams on here that you're not going to expect. All right, teams that are 3-7 and worse over the last 10. Just so you guys know, there's a runner on first, nobody out in the bottom of the second here. Ozzy Albies had a leadoff single. Teams that are 3-7 or worse in the last 10, the Milwaukee Brewers, 3-7. Pittsburgh Pirates, 3-7. Miami Marlins, 3-7. Arizona Diamondbacks, 3-7. And with the Arizona Diamondbacks being 3-7, remember, 2 of those wins were against the Mets. That's kind of how bad those losses were to the Diamondbacks. Even though they're over 500, they could easily be 1-9 if the Mets could have actually scored runs and pitched against the Diamondbacks. So those were not good losses for the Mets. The Mets will not be moving up. Even a doubleheader sweep, I don't have the Mets any higher. And Mets are probably moving down. There's a stolen base by Ozzy Albies. So runner on second, so 3-1 count. Other teams that are 3-7 and worse over the last 10, no teams in the AL East. They're all just like between 4-6 and 6-4. Same thing. The AL Central's looking pretty strong. Then the Texas Rangers are 2-8. And then the Los Angeles Angels, after being like off to an amazing start, are currently on a 7-game losing streak. And they are 1-9 in their last 10. Yeah. The Pirates. Which is really unfortunate because you got Paul Skeens and O'Neill Cruz. You have the foundations of what could be a good young team. And the Pirates just can never seem, even when they get kind of like a young star, they can never seem to put it together. So, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm a big. I was a big supporter of the Angels. Of course, that was partly dependent on Trout staying healthy in my thesis. There's one out here. Eli White is up for the Braves. I don't really know much about him. He's the left fielder. The Cleveland Browns of baseball. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's inside. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Oh, going back to this other comment, Bruce. Dolphins were great when they had brutal speed on both sides of the ball. I agree. Dolphins are always good when they have good cornerbacks and good wide receivers. There's a throwback to second by Roki. Albies gets back. Don't see many pitchers actually make the throw to second behind them. It's true. I mean, it's crazy. Being a Mets and a Dolphins fan, like, yes, the Mets have had some success. They've actually been to a World Series in the last, 20 years, unlike the Dolphins. But really, the arc of both of those teams is very similar. And I get consistently frustrated rooting for the teams in basically the same way. So I totally understand that. That's going to be a liner down the right field line. It's going to score a run for the Braves. It's going to be a triple for Eli White. So it's going to be 1-1. 1-1 in the bottom of the second inning. We'll update the banner here real quick. So, by the way, we can talk anything you guys want to talk about, baseball, sports-wise, too. So this is just more of an excuse to talk baseball than like being an in-depth deep dive, but on like the actual Braves Dodgers game. That's the excuse. If you guys want me to tune in to this Angels, so one of the best teams in baseball, the Tigers, is losing to one of the worst teams currently in baseball, the Angels. It's 1-0. So we can turn over to that game anytime we want. In fact, I can have those games side by side on my screen and just flip over from one to the other. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Ask YouTube questions as well. I do have some YouTube videos on my other channel. So if I have something I made that'll help you, I'll post some links too. Just but yeah, go ahead. Ask away. See, yeah, they had who dat and the ain'ts. You look back to the ain'ts. Like it was written like that. They just dropped the the S from the Saints. It is now. By the way, the Angels just had. I don't know what it was. They just scored 2 runs though. It's 3-0 Angels now. So it's 1-1 in the Braves game. It's 3-0 Angels over the Tigers. Yeah, I just saw that. Just saw that, Casey. I'm keeping an eye on both. Let me I'll actually look it up because I just tuned over because I got the broadcast side by side, so I'll tell you how they scored. Here, just a second. Let me it was Luis Rengifo had 2 RBI single with the bases loaded. And then Rengifo just stole second, so now they got runners on second and third with 2 outs. All right. So the question, I appreciate the raid the other day. I have no idea you could even do that. How do you do that on YouTube? So it's kind of, there's probably a better way to do it than I'm currently doing it. By the way, end of the second, going to the top of the third, Braves Dodgers 1-1. So what I do, let me show you how I would do it if I was. I've had to tone it down because it's just so short of a time. So I'm gonna just show you. This is how I find it right now. Let me switch over to the right channel here, just so I don't mess up all my search algorithm stuff. So I'm going to show you how I find teams to raid, how I find other content creators to raid, and I'll just kind of show you the process by which I do it. And there's, like I said, there's probably a better way to do it than I'm doing it. So let me find that. I think this is the right one. It's a base hit for the Angels. 2 more runs are going to score. All right. Kyron Paris with a 2 RBI single. Playoffs? Talk about playoffs. So, all right. So back to this question here then. So here's how I do it. So the first thing, I would pick a team and whatever team is easier. And then, so I'll just go into like the main YouTube search. And then the fastest way I found to do it is just click on this live. And you want to search as broadly as you can. And then it's going to bring up everything that's live. And so you can see when I'm searching here, here's mine. I'm the third stream that shows up, right? So like literally, I'm the third one down here on this. Hold on, I've got to update the banner here since we're going top of the third here. All right, so it's going to show. And then to try to find if it's someone really streaming or not, then I'll hover over it. Now, I'm not sure if this guy is actually streaming because it kind of looks like it's on a look out on the bottom there. It looks like it's just kind of on the loop there, but you can just click on it if you want to.
I will never use a foam cannon without this valve. So, as you can see,
so,
you got your
now in general, I probably
here.
wouldn't pick this guy.
Trusted Pump Man for expert service, repair, and new system installs.
Yeah.
From water to wastewater. If it moves, we groove. Comprehensive pump solutions. Trusted pump repair expert.
Yeah, so it's just that's not an actual live stream. I mean, which is kind of crazy because he's got 741 people watching the game cast. which is kind of crazy. But then I look on this one here, right? Now I got to decide. This looks like he's actually. This looks like he's playing MLB The Show. But sometimes I'll click through because sometimes they have other stuff going during commercial breaks and stuff.
Oddly,
Oh,
got 8 homers and 11 RBIs.
8 homers, 11 RBIs. Welly facing.
Oh, he's got like, so he's just kind of got like an
seen me for a
animatronic
while,
thing
it's
going
because
on
I
here.
got my dog and went to my room. Awesome, right, man?
So this could be someone. Then the next thing I'm going to look at here is I'm going to look to see if the chat is on subscriber only mode or not.
So
In this case, it's
Schwellebach gets
not.
to face Otani,
And
and Bettis
then I
with a
have
base hit now.
on my clipboard, I just have my message
So
typed up,
Ohtani
rated by
2 for 2.
MetropoliFins, sharing the love.
Now Bettis 1
So that way
for
I don't
2.
have to remember that to type that up time and time again. But yeah, so
But Otani saw that.
this guy
and took
has
it
like
deep.
this interactive thing. I don't know what he's using. This is kind of cool.
Oof.
But yeah, he's got this like interactive thing going on. So
He just watches it fly.
I thought I've seen stuff like this, and I thought they were playing MLB The Show, but I guess he's actually. It's just like a cartoon version of what's going on, which is kind of cool. I don't know what program he's using. I don't know if it's something that
Freddie
he created
Freeman.
or if that's something you can buy. That's kind of cool.
Al's in the chat. No, just kidding.
And then what I'll do normally, of course, is right click. And then, yeah, and then you just kind of hover over. So there's a lot of Dodger streams. My goodness. When the Mets play the Dodgers, we're not going to have any trouble finding someone to raid. So, but I would look for, so this guy, that's probably Spanish. I try not to do that. But I'm just trying to find someone. And so generally you want to scroll lower. Oh, of course, you got all the Japanese channels here too. So I would come down, try to find someone who's got a smaller attendance. You know, it's not a lot of people watching. Like, so I see this guy. I would check out this guy. There's only 2 watching, but doesn't look like he's live and on camera. Anyway, that's kind of the process that I go by when I try to find someone to raid. So I hope that helps a little bit. You know, it's not always. Oh, like, so here's this guy. Yeah, so I would click on him. There's only 2 people watching him.
Come on, Teo.
Yeah, so this would be the type of guy that I would want to raid.
Make up for that laziness in right field. Let's go.
There's only 1 person watching.
Come on, Tasker. 1-0.
His chat is not on subscriber only mode. So those are the main things that I'm looking for ideally. Where you can genuinely make an impact on somebody. Somebody who's out there who's grinding, who's putting in the work with not a lot of people watching. That's what I'm aiming for. So you guys want to raid a guy really quick?
Ooh.
Raid this guy?
He's down.
It's now 3-1 Dodgers, by the way.
That's a base it up the middle. Let's go. 3-1 Dodgers. The Dominican.
You guys want to raid this guy? He's putting the work in, and
hey, keep watching UFC, man. Keep watching UFC.
All right, let's do it. Let's raid this creator here. So I'll just show you how I would do it.
Oscar Hernandez RBI single.
So
3-1 Dodgers.
to press to raid, I'll show you how we can do this in real time here.
Man.
So I've got my
UFC, man.
Here, let me do this. This is I have this copied to my clipboard.
Hey,
so I don't have to type it up every time. I just have it. I have that, and before I even send the raid, I'll have it pasted in the chat, and then I'll just take the link, and I'll just say, "Here's the link. We're gonna go raid," and so we're gonna actually do it right now. We're gonna raid them for real. There we go, and then. Obviously, as we get more people watching, eventually the raids will become a bigger deal. But yeah, just kind of that's how we do it.
Let's go, Smith. Now, the good news is that there will not be a doubleheader tomorrow for the Dodgers, which is a good thing.
So And
Yeah, man.
you know, of course,
So
some
turn
people
back
go
UFC,
and
man. We're scoring a lot of runs because we're watching UFC. Oh well, it's in commercial break, so
look, I'll come over. You know, I'll make sure I hit the like. I don't subscribe to everybody because I try to curate my subscriber feed, but and just encourage people to say, hey, go say something
all
nice, say
right.
something
3-1
positive,
Dodgers.
hit the like,
1-1 count to Will Smith.
you know, do that. So it's
Pop up. No, right field got that.
3-1 Dodgers. This has popped up.
All right, 2 down.
Eli White makes the catch in right field.
All right, here's Max Muncy. Here's Nerd Boy.
So, and sometimes I'm the only one who actually does the raid, but it's okay. Like, I'm just doing it, and it's been cool because it's like a way to connect with other creators and stuff like that. So, hopefully that kind of makes sense.
He
Dr.
is.
D. There you go. Thanks, Bruce. And sometimes they see you, sometimes they don't see you. I don't get offended if they don't see me. Everybody's set up a little bit differently or whatever. But all I do is win, win, win.
Oh, good take.
Win, win, win. I forget exactly how that. I know that song. But there you go. We're actually mid-raid midnight if you want. We're just raiding a Dodgers creator just for fun.
God damn.
So, and then I always like to just point out to the audience, like, hey, when we tuned in, there was only like one person watching. They were at like 2 likes. Now there's like 2 people watching. There are 4 likes. They're just helping
It's
out.
like putting too much pressure, man.
So it's 3-1 Dodgers here.
Yeah, like that, and he's putting too much pressure on himself.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully that helps if it's something that you want to do.
Like,
yeah, Bruce, that's exactly it. Just do it.
Like Joey Gallo,
You know,
basically.
So, like, a lot of it's just the culture. Like, I mean, we rated Phillies channels when we
what the fuck?
Okay. Was it
That's-
Phillies? Yeah,
that's
it was
bad.
Phillies. We rated Phillies channels.
All right, Muncy got hit by pitches last
Like,
time.
it's not the raids are not about rivalry. The raids are simply about just encouraging smaller creators. And what you're going to find, Dr. D2, is like as you do that, you know, other people are going to reciprocate. I mean, we've had counter raids that are bigger than the raids that we sent out. There you go. Like, see, so you take this guy. He's had like 2 of his mods have been like the only ones commenting all night. Jack and Lakers Ave, like they're the only 2. And now we've got 3 different people. Because if you go through, I mean, I had to scroll through.
Hey, Muncy got on! Woo!
I had to scroll through probably 20 feeds to find this guy's feed. And
with the walk, man, he got on base 2 times. No.
You know, so if you're just a Dodgers,
no, man, walk, man. 62 pitches for this guy, and your prize is up 2 down with runners on first and second.
You know, so
good
always learn. There's always more stuff to learn.
Deck is Michael Conforto.
But yeah, I mean, so we've taken this guy who had, you know, I mean, I'm still like it's still showing on the screen here. Yeah, and he hasn't recognized us or said anything to us. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's just about. There you go, Midnight. Thank you, Midnight, for coming over there. And Bruce, yeah, he does.
Nice.
And you'd have to scroll. I had to scroll through probably 30 feeds to find this guy. He's buried beneath all the Japanese feeds, all the Spanish feeds, and then there's 2 or 3 large Dodger creators. Like, he's never going to get seen. And, you know, not never, but you know what I'm saying. Most people aren't scrolling 30. But now maybe if someone searches for Dodgers, maybe they're going to be a little more likely to find him. So I'm gonna close that tab for now. Just for it. But yeah, we can go. Let me so let's do the same thing. Let's we'll look for an Angels creator here, KC. It's a good idea. Equal opportunity rating. You know what? That's a good question. Can you filter by English? So in the case of Angels is very generic. So I'd probably put Angels Tigers for this search. So here, let me do that. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can filter by here. So I'm gonna All right, so here's so you type in Angels Tigers and you click on this. You click on the live tab. So this guy, Dirty Rob TV, he's got like 58, which is, I might rate a guy with 58, but I'm gonna try to find someone. I'm gonna try to find someone smaller if I can. And I'm trying to find someone who's on camera. Like an actually on camera. Because it's a lot of people, and I've done it too. I'm not throwing shade because I've streamed Gamecast too. All right, so there's this guy right here. This is what I'm looking for ideally. This Tigers versus Angels live stream, MLB Baseball Hangout plus chat. Now he just went off camera. Yeah, what would happen? Let's do this. Let's do filter. Oh yeah, here's search filter. I don't know. So filter, type video under. So you can also click on the live feature here through the filter if you want to do that. I am not seeing. What if I type in English? And then click on live. Does it? I mean, maybe that works. But then, no, because it just filtered out the guy we were going to raid. So, I mean, maybe that would work, putting it in there. Yeah, I saw that too. Which one was his feed now? No, I lost his feed. This guy is a Michigan sports fan. And it's just a lot to sort through because half these people are, and then like you get like weird search results as you scroll down because it's like, I'm like, I don't know what any of that stuff is. That's not an angel or a tiger. So in some games, it's like nobody, or it's like with the Mets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this guy up. I'm going to wait for him to come back on. But while I'm waiting, I can kind of see. So he's not in subscriber only mode. So that's one thing. But again, this matches like all the criteria that I'm looking for. So we'll wait till he comes back. And I just picked the 7th inning because I figure like that's kind of a good time. Tends to be a time where the audience is a little bit higher on my feed as well. It's a genuine, a general uptrend in viewership. It's usually like 2, 3, 4, and then near the end of the game, it's more like 7 to 10. So I'm more likely to have a slightly larger crew. But I mean, he's doing okay. He's got 9 people watching, which is that's not bad at all. I mean, his subscriber count is right around where we are, 235. And but yeah, but you know what? Like I can tell you, KC, like that is true too. But I'm like, I don't know anything about those sports. He's working with what he has. It's not a great camera. Like I get it. Like when you're doing this as a hobby and you have no money to put into it, like you got to start somewhere. I'm actually working on a video about that too. Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like you just start with what you got. That's a big thing. Like most people won't even start filming themselves because they're too scared to be on camera. So I try not to shame anybody who's getting started with what it is. Oh yeah, I got you, Midnight. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, and there's probably 6 or 7 Mets fans that consistently stream. And the good news is, not everybody streams every game. It's a lot different than football, other than like the biggest ones. They're not most people aren't going to be streaming every game. All right, he's
That's
back.
down low.
All right, he's back.
2-2 count.
All right,
I'm come through.
So he's back. All right. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. He's back. So I'm going to copy mine. All right. So then we'll post the link. Here's the link in the chat. And then we're going to go do the raid. There we go. Yeah, that would be nuts.
I ain't
midnight.
Mr. Sports.
So
Nah, rated by Metro. Oh, okay. Not funny, raid. You're the only person that comes in here to raid me.
he's laughing because I'm the only one who's posted over there. Somebody help me out. Somebody go add a little more love. He's laughing.
How many famous people do you think? Nobody. All right, idiot. Wow.
There you go. Thanks, Midnight. And you're gonna get different reactions from different people. So
Good. Underneath you.
it's all good. Some people, they're not going to be your vibe.
I don't get free food from Battle Creek. What are you talking about?
See, but this algorithm's going to push him up higher, and if people don't like him in the long run, or people do like him, they're going to, it'll help the audience be found.
Welcome aboard, man. Must not be a big group. Man, I can remember a lot of street being rated by so many channels. It ain't funny.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome aboard.
he's like begrudgingly welcoming us. It's kind of funny. But I mean, his stream went from 7 to 11. His likes went from 5 to 8 with us here. So yeah, he is Midnight. It's all good.
Tiger's got it. Tiger's got to come back here. Come on now.
Oh, he's a Tigers fan, so he's
They
probably
did it yesterday. Now let's see if we can do it tonight.
And Rob's like, "Who's MetropoliFins?"
It ain't next Saturday.
So some people are super tribal about sports. That's one of the things that I learned from Tom Grassi, the football streamer. He's not yes, he's a Packers streamer, but he doesn't alienate. I mean, yeah, he obviously
is next Saturday.
He picks on Vikings fans and stuff like that, but ultimately he's not so tribalistic that it's oh my goodness, if you're not a Packers fan, you can't be here.
Okay, I didn't know. I know they just got done with.
So yeah, I mean,
this SummerSlam.
Yeah, so anyway, that's all it is. And obviously, as you grow in your audience and you bring more people, it works. But it works both ways. I don't do it to gain more people watching me. That's not the reason, but it actually has worked that more people have, people have come back and followed me because I've rated them and I've shared them. And I just don't worry about it. Even if people leave the stream, look, if I bring you to another stream and you like them better than me, it's cool. The Iron Tom hates the Vikings but loves to raid like Vikings do. All right. Well, yeah. Well, and that's what's cool about it is Dr. D. The
man, this Hendricks, man, he's been
ultimately
good tonight.
Ultimately, the creator economy
Tigers,
is better
man,
when we're
they
working
cannot
together.
Get anything. No,
and
only 2 hits off of
especially
this dude.
when you're smaller channels, like when you are a smaller channel,
been hit.
Working with other smaller channels, it actually doubles the impact. And I forget who it was, but I saw. Let me see if I can find the post. Let's see if.
The hitting machine.
Yeah, so this was from Mad Mike. He's someone else that we rated. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen, but this was yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know when it officially posted. But it said, Dad's computer went south, so we got a new one. No stream tonight, guys. Check out MetropoliFins for a Mets Cardinals watch party. It's like, I didn't ask him to do that. He did that. He did that all by himself. And so you can see, like, it's cool. Like, we go out, and so, yeah, like, all right. So if you don't know, this is Mets Mirai's channel, or Mad Mike Sports YouTube. So I should probably focus on the Knicks because there's probably lots of Knicks Mets fans that'll needs a place to turn whenever the Knicks run is over. So like this is another guy, so he's the one we rated him. He shouted me out, and he's got a lot more sports than I do, but you can see. I like it. I like it midnight. I'll have some opportunities here to do that in the coming days. And it's fun because the other thing is you get to learn little bits and pieces. And the vast majority of people, I would say half to 2/3 are positive. They say something nice. You get a couple random people who are like, who's that? Or they kind of just ignore it, And then there's always a handful of people who have they don't pay attention to their chat at all. So you could raid with 1,000 people and they wouldn't notice that anyone posted on. So, all right, let me get you back to the actual games here really quick. So it's 5-1. Angels over the Tigers. That's top of the 8th. 3-1. Dodgers over the Braves. That's top of the 4th. So I know my banner's out of date here. By the way, in that Dodgers game, in the Tigers game, Tigers scored the run off a Spencer Torkelson home run. That's his 10th home run of the season. And since then, they followed up with a ground out. So that's kind of my whole thing. For those of you who aren't familiar with my other channel, that was the Rockies are potentially on a pace to be worse than the White Sox of last year. There's obviously a long way to go, but yeah, well, I mean, Spencer Torkelson was a really hyped up prospect. And kind of he was kind of the heir apparent to Miguel Cabrera. yeah. Rockies are going for it all. Rockies are like the Carolina Panthers. Shohei Ohtani's 3 for 3 on the night now. I want to try to find a video for you, Dr. D. I just want to see if I can find it really quick. I'm just trying to remember what I titled it. Let's see. I don't think it's there. Maybe it's under here. Let's try. All right. Well, I don't know if I can find. Is it delay, Dr. Delay? Is that what it's supposed to be? So on my other channel, so I do kind of like a side hustle and everything. I have a playlist on all sorts of YouTube delay. Okay, well that makes sense. I see why the L is capitalized, but I also see why people go, all right, Dr. Delay. So this is the playlist on my other channel, Dr. Delay. Just kind of all my YouTube tip and trick videos that I've put together for growing a YouTube channel. So this particular sports channel is not monetized yet, though I'm working towards that. But if you're looking to grow the channel, I think there's some good stuff over there, and feel free to go through at your convenience. Pick and choose which videos seem good, but so bookmark it, save it for later, or delete the link. I don't care. But yeah, that's Trey Sweeney's on second for the Tigers here. Ohtani's going to score on a base hit to the outfield. There's going to be 4-1 Dodgers over the Braves. 4-1 Dodgers over the Braves. Yeah, Grassi's a super good guy. I've had nothing but positive interactions. I've been rated by him multiple times. On the other channel, which is kind of what got me inspired to start a separate sports channel, separate from what we were doing over on that channel. And unfortunately, a lot of my viewers from Grassi came over there. I don't know. You probably could block so you couldn't see me. Jose, how's it going? Hope you're doing well tonight. Dodgers are up 4-1. I got to update my banner here. We're just hanging out, talking baseball here tonight. Looks like maybe you're a Dodgers fan. How are you feeling about your season so far, Jose? Hey, no problem. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we're checking out and just hanging out. We're Mets. I'm a Mets fan here, but there were no other. This game was delayed so late, and I just got home. I was like doing that, so appreciate you coming out, hanging over with us. You guys have been kind of like, well, the NL West got off to an amazing start this year. Like I just like it was crazy, and I think in the end you guys are going to settle out at the top, but the run that the Giants went on, Padres went on to get the season started. But I think overall we're going to thank you for beating up on the Braves. So no respect. Concede the rest west to the Rockies. Freeman's going to get a liner out to left field. Is this going to score a run? Yep, Betts is able to score. It's 5-1 Dodgers over. Who do you think Jose, who do you think is going to be your biggest competitor in the West? Which team do you think has the most staying power of we'll eliminate the Rockies from this conversation, but because you probably know more about the Giants, Padres, and Diamondbacks than I do. Which team do you think is gonna finish or give you the biggest trouble? It's 5-1 Dodgers. Call an airstrike on the Dodgers. It's 5-1 Angels over the Tigers going to the bottom of the 8th. And 5-1 Dodgers over the Braves. So we got 2 games going on right now, and both are 5-1 games. Giants, Diamondbacks, Padres. Are the emojis in that order? Wow, Braves are doing a pitching change in the top of the 4th. Bummer. Literally. Aaron Bummer is coming in. Bummer. That's a bummer of a pitching change. Something special going on in Denver, Colorado? So I actually kind of want to dig into the Rockies thing a little bit here and see, like, are they, because nobody was expecting the Rockies to be the worst team in baseball. In fact, most teams were projecting the Marlins or the White Sox to be the worst team in baseball kind of going into this year. That's the thing is, now with the baseball draft, it's a lottery too, so it doesn't even guarantee you the number 1 pick anymore. Because baseball got too concerned about tanking that they went to the lottery for the draft too. All right, this is time for a good old ChatGPT. Are the Colorado Rockies really this bad? Or is their horrendous start a fluke? Please research local and national articles. All right, I just asked ChatGPT, are the Colorado Rockies really this bad, or is their horrendous start a fluke? This is what ChatGPT says. The Colorado Rockies' dismal start to the 2025 season is not a fluke, but a continuation of systemic issues that have plagued the franchise in recent years. As of May 3rd, the Rockies hold a 6-26 record, placing them on pace for one of the worst seasons in MLB history. The Rockies' offense has been historically poor. They rank last in the league with a .211 batting average and a 63 WRC plus, indicating they're producing runs at 37% below league average. Their strikeout rate stands at a league worst 28.4%. These numbers are particularly alarming considering they play half their games at Coors Field, traditionally a hitter-friendly park. In response to these struggles, the Rockies find hitting coach Hensley Mullins. Anybody remember Hensley Mullins' nickname? I actually remember this. The fluke is the games they won. Rocks are trash. Colorado Springs is nice. I have both my sisters live in Springs, so it's been a while. That is true too. I mean, though Ewing was a great talent. But so Hensley Mullins, I'll copy the name. I remember his nickname because I want to say he played for the Yankees back in the early 90s, something like that. Without looking it up, does anyone remember his nickname? I won't say it yet. Anyway, the Rockies fired hitting coach Hensley Mullins, brought back former manager Clint Hurdle as the new hitting coach. While there's been a slight uptick in runs scored since the change, the overall offensive performance remains lackluster. The pitching staff has not fared any better. The team's ERA plus and WHIP are among the worst in the league, indicating both below-average performance and inefficiency in preventing base runners. Veteran pitchers like German Marquez and Antonio Senzatella have struggled significantly, with Marquez posting an 0-5 record and a 9.82 ERA. And the Braves are throwing the ball around like a little league team, and the Dodgers scored another run. It's 6-1. The Mule is a good guess. I like that guess. I'll have to see if there's more than just the one I remember. The Rockies' issues extend to beyond on-field performance. The organization has been criticized for questionable roster decisions, such as trading away key players like Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story without adequate returns. Additionally, there's perceived lack of coherent long-term strategy with inconsistent player development and a reluctance to embrace modern analytics. Well, if they're striking out a lot, it sounds like they already have embraced modern analytics. Fans' confidence in the team's direction is low. A recent survey indicated that only 44% of fans believe manager Bud Black will remain with the team through the end of the season. Visiting fans often outnumber Rocky supporters at Coors Field games. Hennessy Hensley. Hey. Ooh, I've done the long hike into Garden of the Gods. Like from the one parking lot we did, like this when our kids were really young. We did I want to say it was like a 4-mile hike in or something like that. Lou Gehrig, right? I believe that was Lou Gehrig. Rockies poor start of the 2025 season is indicative of deep-rooted issues within the organization. I'm going to double check, make sure I'm not imagining this. Yep, Lou Gehrig. So Hensley Mullins' nickname was Bam Bam, like from the Flintstones. It is now 7-1 Dodgers. Hensley Bam Bam Mullins. This is like all with 2 outs here in the 4th. I think, yeah, the Hennessy Mule. Hensley Bam Bam Mullins. I don't know how many seasons he played. So this is kind of close to Hennessy, but he's also gained the nickname Sir Hensley because he was knighted by the Queen of Netherlands. My nickname growing up was always Chuck. That was like my high school nickname was Chuck. All right. Dodgers finally retired here. Like from Bruce Almighty. 7-1 Dodgers over the Braves going to the bottom of the fourth. I'm going to flip back over to this is the top of the ninth inning here. One of the Angels are trying to break their 6 or 7 game losing streak, whatever that was. Danielson. 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 So it's 5-1. 5-1 Angels. Oh, Gad. Sorry, I misread that. Gotcha. Sorry, I read it as God. I was like, I don't know if I would take on the nickname of God. Gad. Yes. So how do you get the nickname of Gad with a tie-in to the eighth son? Are you the eighth son in your family? Yours is Night. Well, that would make sense, Midnight. One out here in the top of the ninth for the Angels over the Tigers. Brandon Nimmo and Pete Alonso versus a Gorilla. Ibanez is up. That kind of actually would be a fun video. Who are the 100 baseball players I would want to baseball bats, and yeah, if they get weapons, I'm taking the humans. Like in that whole 100 men versus gorilla debate, I'm like, but you don't get weapons. I'm like, men would not be stupid enough to not go in with weapons, because one man with a gun can take out a gorilla. Saquon Barkley versus Francisco Lindor. I'm going to assume Saquon can win that. I know he's bigger, but he's a professional running back. There's a one-out single for the Tigers trying to stay alive. Yep. The other side of it is, I think gorillas don't have huge endurance, and as long as there's no time limit on it, I think the men would win. That would be kind of a fun video. Which 100 baseball players would be best? Oh, I should ask. Are you familiar with the 100 men versus gorilla debate? Or a bazooka. Or a cannon. Don't have to specify what kind of weapon. Let's develop a video of the best 100 baseball players to attack a gorilla. Include rough and tumble players known for fighting. It's a double for the Tigers. Runners on second and third. 1 out on the top of the ninth. By the way, the Angels had Kenley Jansen, their closer, ready to go, and they didn't bring him in yet. All right, let's do a list. Who are from baseball history? Baseball history. Players you would pick to fight a gorilla. Go. Yeah, it's like the Mets not getting Edwin Diaz. Now they're going to Kenley Jansen, but there's 2 runners on. I'm going to give you, here's a couple of mine. I'm going to start. Here's a couple of mine. I got Pete Rose and Albert Bell. I like that. Mark McGuire. I think you got to put Bonds on the list too. I think Stanton. Yeah, Pete Rose is my first thought, Bruce. I like that. Aaron, I think you got to put Judge. Yeah. Aaron Judge. And don't just think. I think you got to go Ty Cobb. He was brutal out there. Frank Thomas. Yeah, the big hurt. Roberto Clemente. I like it. I like it. Who else? Oh, Bob Gibson. He didn't take anything from anybody. Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer has to make this list. Nolan Ryan. Yep. I love it. I think I'm going to try to make this video. I don't know if it's going to come out, but Francisco Lindor. I feel like Lindor is too nice. I feel like Lindor would just be smiling. Oh, David Ortiz. That's a good pick. I like that. Pete Alonso. We'll give Pete the nod. Trying to think who's Oh, Bo Jackson. That's a nice solid pull. Jose Canseco. Yep. I like it. I like it. Tigers got to run home, but there's 2 outs. Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza. Yeah. Turn from enemies to friends. Tom Seaver. Yeah. I'm writing down. I got a master list going over here. All right. Kenley Jansen does get out of the inning, and he gets the save. So Angels are going to officially win that game and their losing streak. Yeah, football players would be fun too, midnight. Ooh, Ryan Howard is good. Bono's ping pong. All right. In addition to our list, I want to give you names that you get from ChatGPT. here's some of the other names that ChatGPT came up with. All right, ChatGPT breaks it into like different types of players. So for power hitters and sluggers, ChatGPT, and you guys can throw out more names too, but it says, and I already typed in our list, so this goes like some of this will be duplicates. Sammy Sosa, Juan Gonzalez, Albert Bell, Jim Tomei, Manny Ramirez, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Miguel Cabrera, Mo Vaughn, Harmon Killebrew, Reggie Jackson, George Foster, Fred McGriff, Prince Fielder, Nelson Cruz, Josh Hamilton, Scrappy Fighters and Psycho Vibes, Billy Martin. Oh, that's a good one. Lenny Dykstra, Carlos Zambrano, Jonathan Papelbon, Niger Morgan, Kyle Farnsworth, Yasiel Puig, Brett Lowry, AJ Przinsky, John Rocker. That's a good one. Brian Wilson, Sergio Romo, Joe Kelly, Bryce Harper, Bobby Bonilla. Infamous hotheads: Kevin Youkilis, Milton Bradley, Delman Young, Jose Bautista, Rougned Odor, Manny Machado, Jake Arrieta, CJ Nitkowski, Brian McCann, Goose Gossage. Pitchers with an edge: Max Scherzer, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, Kurt Schilling, Dennis Eckersley, John Lackey, Justin Verlander, Roger McDowell, Jack Morris, Rob Dibble. Defensive bruisers: Johnny Bench, Carlton Fisk, Gary Carter, Tony Pena, Ivan Rodriguez, Yadier Molina, Jason Varitek, Russell Martin, Salvador Perez, Buster Posey. Old school tough guys: Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Jackie Robinson, Don Drysdale, Al Kaline, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Bob Feller. Modern monsters: Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Ron Acuna Jr., Mike Trout, Fernando Tatis Jr., Julio Rodriguez, Aaron Hicks, Kyle Schwarber. I don't know why I put Bryce Harper on here again, but Austin Riley. Underrated tough guys: Eric Burns, David Eckstein, Tony Phillips, Shane Victorino, Kevin Millar, Mark DeRosa, Reed Johnson, Scott Rowland, Chase Utley, Dustin Pedroia. Unhinged energy. By the way, Randy Johnson needs to be on this list. And probably Kurt Schilling, too. Unhinged energy: Chris Sale, Mad Bum. Oh, that's a good. Madison Bumgarner. That's a good pick. Trevor May, Jose Valverde, Brandon Phillips, Hunter Pence, Logan Webb, Marcus Stroman, Carlos Quentin, Johnny Gomes. Yes, Cecil and Prince Fielder as the tag team. Yeah, Joey Bats, Jose Bautista, like it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having Albert Pujols on my team. Wow. ChatGPT is like, I need more guys from the early 1800s. First answer: Cap Anson, because he's racist. Jeepers, ChatGPT. Jeepers. I think you're the racist one here, ChatGPT. Wow. All right. Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. Yep. Conforto. It's, by the way, the Braves did score a couple. It's 7-3 Dodgers in the top of the fifth. 7-3 Dodgers, top five. Let me. All right. Let's see. Yeah. California Ripken Jr. California Ripken Jr. That's a great typo, Midnight. I love it. All right, let's do football while we're doing that. And if they get bats, I'm not sure if they get bats or not, but all right. Who are we thinking in football? I think Refrigerator Perry. I think we go there. That's my first. Trying to think like. Lyle Alzado. Nice pull. Nice pull. Mean Joe Green. Yep. I like it. Ditka. Yep. I think you got to go Madden as well. And if I'm looking for an ultimate tactician, because some of this could be this. I think Don Shula. I think you bring Don Shula in for his mind as well. Matt Gronk. I want Gronk. Mahomes, Kelsey. Yeah, Refrigerator Perry for sure. Aaron Hernandez. Oh man. Does OJ Simpson have to make this list too? Am I going to get banned off of YouTube if I put Aaron Hernandez and OJ Simpson on the list? I'm not sure if that's a good decision. Maybe I'll have to make a. if Aaron Hernandez makes the list, then we have to put Tim Tebow on this list. Walter Payton, yeah. And I feel like Barry Sanders has to make it. And I'm taking Brady. If I want to be on a winning team, I'm always taking Brady and Mahomes. Who said Mahomes? Somebody said Redman said Mahomes. Yeah. Oh, we missed this one. Indomitian Sue. And Joe Namath, Redman. Deion Sanders. All right. Yeah. Ray Lewis. Yeah. Yep. All right. Here's. Yeah. So the names. So I put in the names we had before some of these last ones came in. Here's the Chat GPT list combined with my list and your guys' list, everything combined. From the 40s and 50s, Chuck Bednarik, Marion Motley, Bronco Nagurski, Art Donovan. Oh, Jim Brown's got to make this too, right? Yeah, and Dominican Sue for sure. All right. All right. Anyway, going back to this here. Joe Brown, Norm Van Brocklin, Otto Graham, Lou Grotza, Emlyn Tunnel. Oh, Dick Butkus. That's a great pick. Deacon Jones, Ray Nitschke, Jim Taylor, Ernie Ladd. By the way, I'm sure it's going to be on here, but Lawrence Taylor also needs to be on here. Sam Huff, Willie Lanier, Jim Otto, Gene Hickerson, and Don Shula. From the 70s, Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, Lyle Alzado, Ted Hendricks, Randy White, Ray Guy, Larry Zonka, Mike Webster, Jack Tatum, nicknamed the Assassin, John Madden. From the 80s, Refrigerator Perry, Lawrence Taylor, Mike Singletary, Ronnie Lott, Howie Long, Bo Jackson, Steve Atwater, Mark Gastineau, Eric Dickerson, Bill Romanowski. From the 90s, Reggie White, good choice, Ray Lewis, Junior Seau, Troy Aikman, Jerome Bettis, Brett Favre, Shannon Sharp, Steve McNair, Deion Sanders, Tony Baselli, Ray Guy the punter. From the 2000s, Brian Urlacher, Teddy Bruschi, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Peyton Manning, LaDainian Tomlinson, Hines Ward, Walter Jones, Jonathan Ogden, Michael Strahan. 2010s, J.J. Watt, Rob Gronkowski, Marshawn Lynch, Cam Newton, Aaron Donald. Oh, you could put Mike Vick on here too. But Junior Seau is a good choice too. I don't know how much I would actually want to put on guys who have done like really Adam Vinatieri. Cam Newton, Aaron Donald, Luke Kuechly, Patrick Willis, Calais Campbell, Trent Williams, Joe Thomas, 2020s, Mahomes, Brady, Derrick Henry, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Quentin Nelson, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, TJ Watt, Gardner Minshew. Why did you put ChatGPT being funny? All right, and then this was like the wild card list. Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Mike Ditka, Tim Tebow, Vince Wilfork, Night Train, Dick Lane, Brian Dawkins, George Kittle, Jared Allen, Fred Taylor, Justin Tucker. Ooh, I don't know about Justin Tucker. I don't think ChatGPT knows about the Justin Tucker controversy right now. Warren Sapp. Oh, yeah. Warren Sapp's on this extra list here. Sebastian Janikowski, Plaxico Burress. I don't know how to say it. Ndamukong Suh, Adrian Peterson, Ray Nitschke, Bo Jackson, Warren Sapp, Tony Gonzalez, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. May the 4th be with you as well, Arnell. I guess we are past midnight. Yeah. I don't know if I want to. We can do the names to not be mentioned, which would be like Vic, Tucker, Aaron Hernandez, OJ Simpson. Otani strikes out 7-3 here, top of the 6th. By the way, Arnell, we're talking about 100 baseball players and 100 football players that we'd choose to fight a gorilla. So, what about Pat Tillman? Larry Allen. So, Arnell, are you familiar with the could 100 men take on a gorilla debate that's going on right now? We're doing 100 right now, 100 football. We already did the baseball players, so we're talking 100 football players that you would choose to take on a gorilla. Ooh, Tom Landry. Tom Landry's a good. Yep, Dick Butkus made the list from the '60s. Hundreds celebrity. Oh my goodness, that might be a little off-brand for this channel, but that would be funny. Probably get sued by 98 of them. Like, sue me for all I'm worth. You can take over my debt. Otani, because he can play offense or defense, because he can pitch or hit. All right, let's see. Hank Stram. Ooh, yeah. That's a nice order today, Midnight. Nice work. That's yeah, that's really nice. The algorithm liked you today. It's 7-3 Dodgers. We're in the top of the 6th right now. Sorry, we've been highly distracted by 100 athletes versus a gorilla. I mean, that would be another one you could do. You'd end up with Mike Tyson on that list, Muhammad Ali. All right, gonna go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-3 Braves here. We're loosely covering this Dodgers Braves game, but just talking all things. Well, I'm working on my prompt here. Or a commercial break for the Dodgers Braves. You want the Braves to win for Dodgers' sake, yeah, or for Giants' sake, yeah. 100 professional wrestlers. See, that's beyond. That's beyond my scope of knowledge. I'd be able to come up with some, but there's no way I could come up with 100. We'll see. If I'm going to do this video, I got to get it out here in the next day or two while the trend is still hot. And before some big YouTuber creates it. Because that's the death knell. You got to come up with an idea before a big YouTuber can come up with it. Yeah, that's most of my knowledge would be like Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, and that's about my knowledge was fairly limited in the 80s and 90s anyway, but that's kind of about all I know. Grassi would know that. I know Grassi knows wrestling. All right. Let's see. 7-3 Dodgers here. Bottom of the 6th. Michael Harris is up. Oh, yeah. Andre the Giant. Yeah, that's for sure. I feel like Andre the Giant might be about as tall as a gorilla. It's huge. It was huge. Okay, so I don't know this. How tall is an average gorilla? They just weigh a lot. How tall is a silverback gorilla? Really? Yeah, you're right. I didn't know that. I just figured they were bigger. So silverback gorilla typically stands 4.5 to just under 6 feet when standing up on two legs. They usually move around on all fours, which makes them appear shorter. Their arm span can reach 8.5 feet. Adult males, silverbacks weigh between 300 and 485 pounds. Yeah. All right. So a silverback gorilla can lift up to 10 times its body weight, up to 2,000 pounds. Their upper body strength is estimated to be 4 to 9 times stronger than an elite human male athlete. One swipe from a gorilla can break bones or rip flesh. Gorillas have massive canine teeth up to 2 inches long. Their bite force is 1,300 psi, stronger than a lion's. Huge muscle mass and thick bones make them hard to injure. We're going to the top of the 7th inning. That was a quick inning for the Braves there. Not able to do much. Still 7-3 Dodgers here over the Braves, going top of 7 as we learn about gorillas. Extremely high pain tolerance. They can move up to 20 miles per hour. They can climb, leap, and dodge with agility. See, I'm learning. There's always they're just dense, not dumb dense, just dense muscle mass. Wrestlers with folding chairs. By the way, if you're hanging out and surviving all this, haven't hit the subscribe yet, we are at 249 subscribers. So we'll be halfway to our 500 goal. If you're watching, you haven't hit the subscribe yet. There we go. Got mad gorilla facts in the chat. George of the jungle, strong as he can be. George of the jungle, watch out for that tree. 7-3, Dodgers over the Braves, headed to the top of the 7th inning. I'm going to make it a goal to get that video out by Monday. At least one of them. I mean, there'll be 2 separate videos, but we'll probably have to get them out in quick succession. Don't tell anybody. Even though it's all over the internet now. Don't tell anybody what our plan is. Yeah, exactly. I think the other part that's true too is it contained or is it out in the open? Because in an area of containment, the humans would be in a lot more trouble versus like out in the open or at least out in the wild where humans could hide and ambush, you would definitely have more of an opportunity if you could ambush and distract. Yeah, well, if there's 100 humans coming at him, I think he'd be threatened. Yeah. So what do you guys think on the genuinely bad people like OJ Simpson and Aaron Hernandez? I feel like somehow because and then there's going to be like the questionable ones too. Yeah, I'm going to find out what the official scenario is that's being proposed. I mean, they say average men, but obviously we're not going to look for average because that doesn't make a fun video. So hand selected, and I think it would be with no weapons, which would definitely knock out a few. But there's still a need for like running backs to be a distraction, right? So like I'd want a Barry Sanders who can change directions. Well, that could be too. Yeah, I just don't know what to do with any of them. It's like this is the stuff. See, this is the part of the creator YouTube journey I don't know. Entire Super Chicken theme song. Yeah, I just like I don't know how to handle stuff like that because people are going to be massively divided on anyone who was involved with anything legally. Like even the Trevor Bauer on the baseball side would be like, or do I just keep it solely within the domain of the sport itself and things that have happened on the respective sports fields? Because Trevor Bauer was kind of a psycho on the baseball diamond sometimes too. Yeah, I mean I think that's probably the better play. Feed them first to the gorilla, Bruce. Well, what I think is like because there's a lot of dicey things here because there's like domestic abuse, right? There's murder, there's animal cruelty, and like all right, just out of Gladiators with daggers at the minimum. Out of curiosity, I just asked: domestic abuse, murder, or attempted murder, or animal cruelty for baseball and football. I feel like what I should do is kind of just say, look, it says for domestic abuse for baseball is Roberto Ozuna, Jose Reyes, Aroldis Chapman, Addison Russell. For football was Ray Rice, Greg Hardy, Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt. Murder, attempted murder is Aaron Hernandez, O.J. Simpson. Ray Caruth is another one. Animal cruelty is Michael Vick. Pete Alonso versus a gorilla. One on one, the gorilla is going to win against any human, except maybe like a Goliath. I just like there's two parts to this. I want to obviously not get myself into any sort of legal trouble. Not that most would care. And then the other side is I don't want to do anything that is insensitive to or painful to the actual victims or their families. And if I'm going to do a fun video, like it's got to be fun. Like, so I've just got to figure out what that exactly looks like. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Midnight. I know where you're going. Francisco Lindor versus Alvarez in a rap battle. All right, 7-3 going to the bottom of the seventh in this Braves-Dodgers game. Dodgers are up 7-3 as we speak. I mean, I don't know specifically why Mike Trout keeps getting hurt. For athletes, it can be a variety of reasons. It can be anything from training regiment to just being unlucky to old age. Sometimes one injury causes another injury with baseball players. That you see that a lot with pitchers. They're injured, so they have to change a part of their delivery. And so like their hip injury then eventually turns into an arm injury. I don't know specifically why on Trout though, Redman. It's unfortunate though. It really is. In the same way, like as a Mets fan, seeing having David Wright get injured. Yep, exactly. Just like you were saying. Yeah, it's kind of that same thing. It's like, is there any particular reason why? Don't know. We're going to try to make it to the end of this game, but it's getting late. I'm getting tired. So we are one away from 250 subscribers. So if you're hanging out in the background, yeah, that's true, Bruce. That is definitely true. So Kentucky Derby was today. I used to kind of be big into that, but well, so the problem with pitching is that velocity, velo is so valued in today's game, and then pitchers keep getting hurt, blowing out their arms. But there's always another pitcher to step up. A guy like Greg Maddux or John Smoltz would probably never make it to the majors in today's game because of such a focus on velocity. The only way you're going to fix it is if you punish teams if their pitcher doesn't go a certain distance. But then the problem is if you don't pitch fast enough, the hitters can hit. So I don't have the solution to it. Anyway, I guess every horse today in the Kentucky Derby, every single one, it was an offspring of Secretariat. I think I heard that. I used to always I just like the concept of like the Kentucky Derby. But like this year it was totally like I saw a few things on Facebook and I thought it was coming up like in a couple weeks. I didn't realize it was today. I'm like, no. Yeah, every single horse in the Kentucky Derby today is a descendant of Secretariat. That's just crazy to me. So midnight. I've never been into the Derby itself, but the city of Louisville used to party the entire week, starting with Thunder over Louisville, huge air show and fireworks display over the Missouri River. That's super cool. I imagine food delivery would be pretty good and busy on a day like today. That would be a series I would love to do too. Just going around and doing food delivery around major sporting events. 7-3 Dodgers, bottom of the seventh. Austin Riley at the plate. Braves are down by 4. Juan Soto's getting hot. You better believe it, Red Man. Told you, wait till May. Wait till May. He's got 4 hits in his last 2 games. You love this, P. Alonso. I love your love for the Mets, Red Man. Braves are trash. Strike 1 ball, 2 strikes to Austin Riley here. I would not count the Braves out for this season yet, though. One-two pitches fouled away by Austin Riley. One out here in the bottom of the seventh. Braves are down 7-3. Welcome, everybody. We are MetropoliFins, YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. My name is Craig. Excited to be with you talking some baseball tonight. Talking which 100 baseball players we would take to fight a gorilla. Riley is retired. 2 outs here, bottom of the 7th. All right, sounds good, Midnight. Yeah, Secretariat was absolutely dominant. Good man, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it so much. Try to be the best we can be. Got to be entertaining for the days that the Mets choose to not show up, either figuratively or literally, like today, because they were rained out. Marcell Ozuna at the plate. Yeah, Nimmo and McGill are probably my 2 favorite Mets right now. To be fair, I do miss the old leadoff batter Nimmo a little bit, but I understand why he's got to change as he gets older. But I do like the fact that he can put up a 9 RBI day, because leadoff hitter Nimmo couldn't do that. But 4-hole, 5-hole Nimmo can. I mean, I really like there's lots of guys in the team I like. But I've always said if I could choose one Met to interview, it would be Nimmo. Ozuna at the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I would jump at the opportunity to interview any Mets player. Ozuna's going to line this one. It's going to be extra bases. It's 2-out double for Ozuna and the Braves. Bottom of the 7th. We are 1 subscriber away from 250. So if you're watching, you haven't yet hit that subscribe, now's your chance to make history. 1 Met to interview from all time. I mean, probably my favorite Met of all time would be Mike Piazza, so I'd probably go there. But in terms of like interesting stories, Tom Seaver, that would have been one. Not even as a player, but as the manager, Davey Johnson, sitting down with him and talking about how did you manage that clubhouse of that 86 team. So far, so good, Red Man. So far, so good. But then like other key players like David Wright would be a solid interview. Really, any of the 86 Mets would be a solid interview. Maybe someday. I do have an interview coming for the channel. It's not a Mets player, but I just haven't. I know I only have 1 shot to make it work, so I've got to decide, and I'm waiting to see if I can get a little more footage. I should check. Yeah, we're spoiled. Dodgers retire the side. They get that out, so it's going to remain 7-3. Going to the top of the 8th inning. So we're just going to stay with you guys probably to the end of the game, unless it goes extra innings or something crazy like that. But I'm certainly getting tired. I'm getting tired. So it's 7-3 Dodgers over the Braves. We've been talking about which 100 baseball players or football players would you choose? Oh, I wanted to brainstorm one other idea I had for the channel. So since you guys are on, this is going to be a couple weeks before the first one would come out, but thought about doing a series called Fan for a Week, where I would pick another team, not instead of the Mets, but in addition to the Mets, to be a fan for a week. And I'd probably pick different, I would not pick the main Mets rivals. But I think right now it'd be really fun to be a fan of the Oakland Athletics for a week. Say, okay, I want to go in and they're not the Oakland Athletics, sorry, the Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics. And so I would go in, I'd actually do a little bit of a deep dive, potentially, reach out to another content creator who is a fan of the team and say hey, what do I need to know about this team? And really try to immerse myself in the experience of being a fan for a team, learning about the team, learn about their farm system, learn about who's hot. I just think that would be kind of a fun thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a stupid idea? Or is that basically just go all in, be a fan for the week, stream 1 or 2 of their games. I'd pick a week where they're obviously not playing the Mets. So I wouldn't pick the team the Mets were playing and then be this divided fan. Yeah, I mean, I probably couldn't even get through every team in a season. I was thinking of maybe not doing Braves, Phillies. I mean, eventually, what I was thinking midnight would be save Braves, Phillies, Dodgers, Yankees, maybe save those 4 for later on in the series when I would have ideally a larger following. But just starting, I could start with some popular teams, but that don't really threaten the Mets directly. Chicago Cubs, I think, would do well. And just go all in. I was just brainstorming. I want to try to create something different than what I've seen other creators create. And I just thought that'd be kind of fun. And it would take, I mean, there's 30 MLB teams, I believe, right? I think it's five per division times 6 divisions. So, and it might take 3 weeks to do one team, because there's going to be a week of prep plus the week of, plus a week of editing. So I might only be able to get, say, 10 done a year, at least for now. But I'm I think it'd be kind of fun. Ed Kranepool, yeah, that'd be fun. That would be a fun one. I think like the 86 Mets, Gary Carter. That would have been a really fun interview. But even like I know there's lots of interviews out there on this stuff, but Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. Shohei Ohtani is at the plate here. 3-1 count. Seth, how's it going? Got your Dodgers going. Beating up on the Braves for us Mets fans. So that's a 5-pitch walk for Ohtani here. Dodgers up 7-3, top of the 8th inning. How are you doing tonight, Seth? This game was delayed start by like 3 hours, so it worked out. It was just starting as I was coming home. Yeah, something like that. Like I feel like that could be a thing. I mean, I don't even know how many. Yeah, like Cubs would be a good one. But I think any team that's like overachieving or underachieving, like even right now, I think being a Rockies fan, because the Rockies are so bad that they're searchable. Yeah, well, exactly. Like I could see it expanding, and then the other side of it, midnight, is I'm like, this would go perfect into football season too, right? Because I could do a week, but I could time it where a week equals 2 games. So it's like both a Sunday and a Thursday night game for a team. Yep. Well, and that works too. Then, as I'm going to a home game for every team midnight, then I can also do like the delivery in every city. So I could do it's like both. I can create content for both channels. But I mean, it would be interesting to immerse. Oh, Lenny Dykstra, Bruce, is that who you're saying? But like, I think it'd be interesting as a Rockies fan to say, like, is there actual hope on the horizon here? And do a little bit of a dive and say, like, what am I seeing here that actually is encouraging? And then, like, you never know if you pick the right week. Like, you could just pick the week that the Rockies catch on fire. Yeah, because it's controllable enough that you can pick it ahead of time, and at the same time, it would never have to directly impact my fandom of my actual teams. Because I don't want to be like disingenuous and be like I'm cheering against the Mets like in a head-to-head battle. I can't do that. But I mean, even just thinking in a game like tonight, like, yeah, there aren't many scenarios I'm rooting for the Dodgers, but I could be a fan of the Dodgers if I knew they were playing the Braves and the Phillies. Be a little easier to get on board, and because like the thought process would be is eventually, I mean, it might be hard to get a collab right away, but if I could collab with a different creator for each team, like that would help build both channels. Whoever I'm collabing with plus this channel, and then I could actually learn some information. Say, okay, give me the lowdown. What's the lowdown on being a? I mean, so for example, I don't have a better example, but like your favorite softball player, Cassidy Pickering, is having a great season. Well, congrats to Cassidy. I'm assuming she's on the Sooners. Freddie Freeman hits this ball deep. And there's a 2-run homer for Freddie Freeman. Dodgers are now up 10-3. Well, there you go. For those of you rooting against the Braves, that was a pretty good no doubter there. 10-3 Braves. Freddie Freeman back in Atlanta. Well, it's like for a Buffalo Bill, right? Like, what do I need to know? I got to learn how to jump through a table, and then eventually I could do that, right? Like, if not that I'm saying I want to be a Bills fan, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I could actually do that, and then I thought, like, one of the other ideas I had within this is actually like create a food from the city. Like, my wife's a great cook, and so like I think that would be a fun part to put into the video. Like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, so if I was doing I'm just using Buffalo Bills as an example. It'd be very hard to stomach as a Dolphins fan. But like, okay, we're gonna make buffalo wings. I'm gonna crash through a table, and then there's gonna be other traditions. And then even do like little bits of research. So let's say, again, I'm just using stuff off the top of my head, but let's say I was doing the Phillies, like here's the 2-minute history of the Philly Fanatic, and like I'm not a Phillies fan, but I've always loved the Philly Fanatic, right? Like it's kind of cool to be actually able to enjoy him as that, and it's like I think there's something there. Yeah, and like if I was doing Dodgers, I could do like I can put in some of my personal anecdotes throughout the years. Like probably have a memory of every single baseball and football team somewhere. Yeah, be safe, Midnight. Be safe. Don't mind me. I'm just kind of talking out loud here. Will Smith strikes out. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. 10-3 Braves. Braves coming up in a desperate situation, needing 7 runs in 2 innings to somehow try to stay alive. Football I think would be easier because most of the big teams are not true rivals for the Dolphins. Other than like Patriots, Jets, Bills, that's it. Like, so becoming a Cowboys fan, like that, I think that would work. I just like how it could just be kind of seamless as you go straight from one season to the other. And then as you go like into the NFL playoffs and MLB playoffs, MLB playoffs is pretty easy because I could pick like different American League teams all the way through. NFL playoffs, I could always pick NFC teams if the Dolphins make the playoffs, which they probably won't. I think there's a lot of I think there's some good potential there. And I like with the NFL, I really like trying to pick teams that have 2 games within a 7-day span. So either a Monday and a Sunday. It's like I get to actually live the ups and downs of 2 separate games. And then with baseball, of course, you got 5 or 6 games a week pretty much every week. So like I was just thinking, like if I had been an Angels fan this week, glad for Freddie to pass the kryptonite. Yeah. But like if I had been an Angels fan this week, then I'm like live reacting to Trout's injury, as well as the downfall of the team. Or if I was doing the Athletics to see as they're going from there. I agree, Seth. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think the Braves are the primary. I think the Dodgers are a bigger contender for the Mets to face down in the long run. But in the short run, I'll always take a Braves or a Phillies loss. No complaints here. So we thank you. We thank you for that. It's not that the Dodgers aren't beatable. Obviously, teams that beat the Dodgers this year. But you just can't make mistakes against this Dodgers team. There's just not easy outs anywhere up or down this lineup. Didn't Conforto get off to like a really good start this year? Was he really the world's first sport mascot for professional sports? For some reason, I was thinking it was the San Diego Chicken, but maybe he was just more generic when he started. Sean Murphy at the plate for the Braves here. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, Michael Conforto was hitting 368 the first week of the season. And his average is all the way down to 146. Yowzers. Michael Conforto hit 123 in the month of April. Wow. I mean, I know the first week of the season is a small sample size, but you hit 368 for the first week of the season, you're feeling pretty good. And then you go 9 for 73 in April. That's a rough April for Conforto. Sean Murphy flies out deep to right field, but he's going to be retired. It's going to be the first out. Bottom of the 8th remains 10-3 Dodgers. We're 1 subscriber away from 250. Halfway to our goal of 500 by the All-Star game. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I would absolutely appreciate it if you'd just take a moment to do that. There's a ground ball that's going to get out to left field. That's Ozzy Albies. That's with his 3rd hit of the night. Yeah, it's like both, right? It's let me look up that for you, Seth. See if I can find the release date for you here. Yeah, so they just announced the release date like about a week ago, Seth. College Football 26 will be released on July 10th. So you got to wait about 8-9 weeks. All right, Bruce. Thank you for that information. That'd be interesting. I should do a deep dive on Mr. Met. Go ahead, Midnight. Mr. Met was the first mascot to go overseas. for baseball. Yeah, so I guess it depends on how you define it. The collab side, yes. Absolutely stream with a fan of whichever team you're doing and can base which team it is off of who is available. Yes. And what I might have to do is I might have to make one or two without a collab just to show it. But yeah, I was thinking like the collab is definitely a thing. So that's good to hear that you like that idea. Braves are retired. It's 10-3. You're going to the top of the ninth for the Dodgers here. We're gonna probably, as soon as the game is over, I'm probably gonna skedaddle. It's late, and I got to be up early-ish. Orioles game was in a 35-minute delay because of that. Ooh, yeah, that's a really good idea, Midnight. I don't know how much we have for baseball down here, though I know we have a Boston one. We're big enough because we have a lot of that. Yeah, so we have Boston, so I could do a Red Sox for sure. And then eventually, when there's money coming in, I could use it as a nice excuse to get like a hat and a jersey for each team. Like get one really nice jersey, like of a favorite player. Like so, if it was like Boston, either get like a nice Boggs or Clemens jersey eventually, because I could see this being a series that I can just do repeatedly over multiple years and then keep upgrading it over time. That's a really good idea, Midnight. Yeah. Yeah, so I know exactly where it's called Lansdowne, Shays Lansdowne. I've delivered from there. So I know they cater to that. Of course, we would have Tampa Bay, so I could do I'm sure that like I wouldn't have to go far to actually get to a Tampa Bay bar. And it'd be fun to be like pick the Red Sox like when they're playing the Yankees in a rivalry game and really like dive all in on that. I will do some research on that because even if I have to travel a little bit, that would be fun. Even if I can't do a ton of it right now, do that. You like to see Mets in a Dodgers series? Yeah, Mets Dodgers for the National League Championship Series would be great. Kooky traits about the teams, yeah. So that's what I want it to be is like a little bit interactive, but a little bit of a deep dive. I also want to like do like a little bit of a prospect dive. So like if I pick a team. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Because enough of them come through to either, well, wherever, I don't know where the Rays are playing, but yeah, like what you're saying is go as the fan. I got to get the income up first. But I do like that. I do like that idea. Like to go all in, find out where the fans are going to sit and buy a ticket in that zone and really immerse myself in that experience. I like it. Thank you for all your thoughts, Midnight. That's like right on. And I could do the same thing eventually with football and the Buccaneers. It didn't happen to your Mets. I agree, and it happened to the Braves. I mean, I know we don't love the Dodgers, but I just don't mind the Braves losing. There's one out here, top of the ninth, 10-3 Dodgers. There's 2 outs. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, Midnight. And I mean, eventually, I'm within a day's drive to Atlanta, and it's a long day, but I could probably get to New Orleans in a day too, eventually. I just got to get my financial situation in better shape, but it's going to be one of those like we're going to keep stepping it up, like start with a bare minimum and then try to grow the channel. I mean, even if I can't collab to start with, if I can't get responses, I can find a streamer and say, hey, like I joined the stream. I joined the stream of this streamer and had a good time. And like I could force the collab, even if they don't know about it, and just say, hey, give a shout out to some other streamers who are covering stuff. So Michael Conforto at the plate here. This is the 1-2 pitch. It's called strike 3. All right. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. Braves need to score 7 to tie the game. Get rid of Sunday Night Baseball. So I remember, Seth, back in the day. So we usually have Sunday night church. So I remember coming home from Sunday night church, especially in the summertime. There's no school on Monday. And I would just get myself a snack, usually like chips and dip, or sometimes like ice cream, and just sit in front of Sunday. I didn't care what teams were on it. Didn't care about anything other than it was just uninterrupted baseball. Because usually everybody else in the family was like too tired to stay up. The game would start at like 8 o'clock. And I would just get to watch baseball for like 3 hours uninterrupted. Nothing else to do because it was summertime. So, but that was also back when ESPN wasn't stupid. I haven't watched ESPN programming in years now. And I used to be like a loyal watcher. Like I used to watch Cold Pizza. What was like their morning show, if you guys remember Cold Pizza. I used to watch all of their little Around the Horn was one of them. What was the other one they had that was like, used to watch all that stuff. Yeah, so while I'm in a big Twins area and Red Sox. So Twins and Red Sox are the 2 closest teams for spring training. And yeah, they're so one of the thoughts is once if I could get a hat and a jersey, that I could actually wear around town just to see, do people even say anything to me? Yeah, no, I'm glad that you guys kind of think the idea is good because like I just randomly like I've been trying to brainstorm stuff, and I was like, I'm glad you guys like the concept of the idea too. I'm sure my execution of it's going to be pretty poor to start with, but we'll get better. And if we can get big enough that other people are going to want to collab with me eventually, slowly just keep reaching out, expanding. But I was like, well, because I get react. So when I wear my Mets stuff around town, like if it's cold, I wear a Mets sweatshirt. I get multiple comments a day from other Mets fans. So I know that's a thing. So it'd be interesting if I wore an athletics jersey. Would I get real comments? Would I get sarcastic comments? How would I actually feel? But yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. I'm sure if I'm actually looking, I would notice more too. So Haesung Kim, who is he's a rookie from Japan. He just entered the game for the Dodgers. They just called him up. So he gets to play here in the 9th inning. Very exciting for him. So congrats to him for making the show. Verdugo at the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Oh yeah, we got everybody. Yeah, well, and that what would be cool about it is like every time. So for those of you familiar with like Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives and Guy Fieri, however you say his name, he'll go back to the same town multiple times. And it's like, so if I ever get to the point where it's like, okay, hey, I'm going to go travel here, I'm going to go to this place. But then people are going to say, hey, you got it. The next time you go to Chicago, you got to try out this pizza place. The next time you go to Atlanta, you got to try out this place. So it's almost like and of course, bring the whole family with me too. So you get to, it's a great way to have a tax write-off for doing all these things. Turn everything you love into a business and it all becomes a tax write-off. There's a grounder fall. Yeah, I can see how this can keep expanding year after year after year. And there's just going to be no shortage because you can just keep picking. You can just keep picking teams. And eventually I can even do sports that I don't love. Right? So it's like I could go all in as a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Or I could go all, like I'm not even a huge hockey fan or like whatever, like with basketball right now, I could go all in as a New York Knicks fan. There's a 1-out base runner here. Hey, there's a second hit for the Braves. Braves have a little bit of fight in them. Braves have runners on first and second with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Oh, exactly. I mean, it would take a couple years to get through every team. And then it would take a couple more years after that to get to every city. And then by the time you're done, it's like, I mean, there's just no limit. I could travel to an international game, and I could take on any sport. I mean, it's literally, it's an unending. I could take on minor league teams. I could take on college teams. I could take on, like I could, for the NCAA March Madness tournament, I could be like, I'm going to take on, just pick a team, pick a favorite, right? So like this year I could pick, great, pick the Florida Gators and be like, I'm going to go all in as a Florida Gators basketball fan for the NCAA March Madness tournament. I'm going to live and die with them. I'm going to go to all the games. I'm a college World Series, same thing. I mean, you could do it for any level. I could do it for Little League World Series. Like last year, the Florida team made a run. So like, I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to learn everything that there is to learn about this. Yeah, I've had strangers come up to me, all like with Met stuff on. I know what you meant, Bruce. It is. It's like an open, it's a dialogue conversation starter. And sports brings stories too, because someone who's willing to come up to you, you can't stand the Longhorns. As a Sooner fan, I totally understand, Seth. I understand why you as a Sooner fan would not like the Longhorns. The Miami Hurricanes don't have we don't really have that many rivals. I say the only team that I really, two teams I tend to not like, Florida State and Notre Dame, and those are both more because the 80s than anything else. Well, midnight, when I get to the Panthers for football, I should just collab with you. You can teach me everything there is to know about the Carolina Panthers. Ozuna's at the plate here. It's a 3-2 count. Runners on first and second with one out. Oh, imagine if I could talk Tom Grassi into being be a Packers fan and do a Grassi stream. Bases are loaded for the Braves. It's not over yet. Not over yet. Got to start small, though. Aim high, but start small. Someone wanted to be a Dolphins fan, and how can I prepare? Prepare for disappointment. If you win, it will not be easy, except that one game against the Broncos. No win is easy, and every loss is painful. And if it's a must-win game, they will absolutely not win it. Fly, Eagles, fly. Your teams are on a pretty good run, Seth. Dodgers won the World Series. Eagles won the Super Bowl. Is that Vegas Knights? Is that the Knights, the Vegas Knights, I'm assuming? Oklahoma Sooners. How is Sooners softball doing overall this year? Are they still winning? Here's the 1-2 pitch to Matt Olson. Swing and a miss. At a pitch in the dirt. They're in the playoffs, right? Are they still in, or did they get eliminated? I'm not following hockey that much, but I saw a bracket the other day. Oh, that was a bad swing by Olson. It was barely a strike to start with, and it was in the dirt by the end. So it's 10-3 Braves. They have bases loaded, but there's 2 outs. Even a grand slam doesn't hurt the Dodgers there. First pitch is a ball. This is Sean Murphy. He does have 1 grand slam in his career. 206 batting average all time with the bases loaded. Dodgers trying to put this game away. As soon as this game is over, I'm going to bed. I do appreciate each and every one of you. That's popped up. It's going to get out of play. There's a slight chance I'll be live. Yeah, Boston College when Doug Flutie did the pass. Yeah. There's a chance I'll be live for a few minutes tomorrow for Blade Tidwell's Major League debut for the Mets. But it's also pretty likely that I won't be live at all tomorrow. So we're going to first church service, and then I'm going to do food delivery for brunch and lunch into the afternoon. And then we got youth night at church my daughter's going to, and I'm speaking at tomorrow night. So I think I have to be there by 4. So I probably won't be live tomorrow. We will be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're all late night games. Wow, Sean Murphy just looks at strike 3 to end the game. All right, Dodgers win 10-3. Roki Sasaki gets his first major league victory. Congrats to him. 10-3 Dodgers over the Braves is the final score in the books tonight. Well, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't yet done so, please hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way out. fun conversations. Thanks for helping me brainstorm through some video ideas. Large, back to you, Midnight. Appreciate you so much. Good hanging out, just talking sports, talking baseball and football as always. Well, with that in mind, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Appreciate you all, and I'll catch you guys on Monday night. Have a great night, everybody.